So he said he could find no evidence of a cover-up of allegations of a child abuse ring in the 1980s. But Peter Wanless has admitted that the Home Office's record-keeping was so bad that he could not say for certain that a cover-up never happened. The inconclusive verdict has fueled new claims about what that alleged dossier might have contained and what happened to it. Cordelia Lynch reports.
The secrets of a nation's dark past remain buried. The paper trail that could unearth the truth is, we're told, nowhere to be seen. This was a review of how the Home Office handled allegations of child abuse over 3 decades. But for victims and campaigners, there was little detail and few answers.
I think it is a very, very tough day when people come out and say, you know, there's no evidence of this and no evidence of that, when they haven't even actually had a chance to examine the evidence because a lot of it's been destroyed. But it is about time, and I hope that the full inquiry that we'll be meeting and discussing with Theresa May on Thursday, I hope it does start to speak to survivors and victims so that we can start to get at the truth of what went on in the past.
The report, carried out by Peter Wanless, the chief executive of the NSPCC, found no evidence that the Home Office deliberately destroyed files to cover up child abuse, but it stated that it was difficult to prove anything definitive due to imperfect filing systems in place at the time. It revealed there was no system of recording allegations then or now.
Record keeping, not exactly brilliant, is something of an understatement. I mean, the files are a mess, and it's looking back 30, 40 years was always going to be a challenging task.
In response, Theresa May promised tighter scrutiny.
Mr. Speaker, I want to make sure that we leave no stone unturned when it comes to the work Peter Wanless and Richard Whittam have undertaken. So I have written to them today to seek further reassurance that the police and prosecutors acted appropriately upon receiving information.
Some campaigners were sceptical from the start about what, if anything, the former senior civil servant could reveal. And with just 8 weeks to look into child abuse, Peter Wanless could arguably have done with more time. He now has more work on his hands. The Home Secretary, Theresa May, has asked him to look into whether any material was handed to MI5.
The inquiry looked at how the Home Office dealt with information handed over by the late Conservative MP Geoffrey Dickens to Leon Brittan, then Home Secretary. There are 114 files that remain missing, lost or destroyed. And today came fresh claims about other documents alleging sex abuse in Westminster. Investigative journalist Don Hale claims he was given a dossier by former Labour Cabinet Minister Barbara Castle that contained a list of 16 MPs allegedly involved in promoting the paedophile information exchange network.
A special branch turned up on the doorstep. It wasn't so easy to rebuff them, obviously, when you got them in your face and a gang of policemen as well, waving search warrants and all sorts at you. And I was basically pushed against the wall and said, you know, you're in possession of confidential documents. Are you prepared to hand them over? And I said, well, why should I really? I was preparing to run a story. And they said it's not in the public interest and it could threaten national security. It was that important.
Labour MP John Mann claims there are more politicians currently being investigated.
Around 25. And the police are investigating, certainly I'm aware of 7 personally, but from what I pick up talking to others, about half, so around 12 prominent politicians, some alive, some dead, where there are live investigations currently.
A wider inquiry into historical child sex abuse gets underway this week, but the hunt is still on for a chair. Suspicion of cover-ups continue, but all we now know after a 36-page report is that nothing can be proved or disproved.